First, let me just give you a couple words of what's going on with this graph if you're not familiar. Okay, so it's a joint venture between the New York Times and the American Statistical Association. It is a weekly feature on the New York Times Learning Network. Okay, it is totally free. Every week we release a graph that has been previously published in the New York Times. We ask 4 questions, and the same ones every week. What do you notice? What do you wonder? What impact does this have on you or your community? And write a catchy headline that captures the main idea of the graph. In addition, we also provide very brief and concise resources for the teacher on everything from the link to the article to something we call stat nuggets, which are layman's definitions of terms used in the graph and where you find them. Okay, teachers can use them in their classroom, they can use them as homework, but every Wednesday from 9 to 2 Eastern time, myself and another teacher live moderate students' responses, and students respond to each other. So the old, your zip code does not determine who you learn by. So that's a summary of what it is. And here are just, a group of graphs that we've used in the past. We're now over 100 graphs. Okay, so let me tell you what the objective of the whole program is. Okay, number 1, we want students to be gravitated to graphs and be willing to spend the effort to tease out the story that's in the graphs. Do they skip over it and go to the article, or do they go to the graph first? If they go to the graph first, my guess is they'll already know what's in the article, and they'll probably even know more. The second thing is students should learn about the world around them. We've had all kinds of topics. You can see here, various things. I mean, I'm just looking at it. We've got some are pop tunes and their genres, hurricanes, electricity, flattening the curve, age of first mothers. That's just some of the ones that you're just looking at. It's right there. Injuries for high school sports, all kinds of things, all that have been in the Times. And we really want them to expand beyond their own community. The third thing is we want to teach them a strategy. Now, this is really interesting. Like, if you were an English teacher and you were going to say, well, how do you understand poetry? Like, give me a strategy for understanding poetry. Well, that's like really hard because like poems are like all different. Okay, I don't know what strategy there is. Well, the same is true with graphs. Graphs are all different. I mean, and look, what generalizations would you like to make about the graphs that are in front of you right now? Like, there's like there's usually numbers. Okay, there's some kind of numbers, but that's not really very helpful. So we have to have some place where students can start understanding a poem, start understanding a graph. And the method we use is what do you notice? What do you wonder? A strategy that Annie Fetter of the Math Forum developed, which has the low floor and the high ceiling. Every student can notice that they're red dots and they're blue dots. And they can notice that it goes from the bottom to the top. And then, what do you wonder about it? And the best practices is when students hear each other and base their answers on what they've already heard. So they can go further than what are the color of the dots, okay? So this is a strategy that when teachers use it, migrates through the whole building. It doesn't just have to be math. And it has actually migrated throughout the learning network now. Lastly, and I think this is so important, and I said this before 4 years ago, we want students to be skeptical about graphs, okay? It is important to be skeptical, but not to be cynical. And that takes a lot of talent to be able to get out of the skepticism and really know what the story is. So those are our objectives.